What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 65 of the Game Room Podcast. I'm your host, Rome, alongside Dev.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, Dev?
Tired, but not bad today.
Not bad. No, it was a good day. Overall, it was a good day. Man, what a week. What a slate of headlines we have to get into today. So much stuff going on. Assassin's Creed, Hellblade, Call of Duty on GamePass, GTA 6. PlayStation just hired not one, but two CEOs. And we're going to get into all of it here tonight. So let's get right into it. And let's start with our main topic of the show. A game we're both very excited about. Not the one coming out tomorrow, but Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yes.
We got the reveal trailer last Wednesday. Ubisoft has released the trailer for the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows. In addition to the trailer, the studio also confirmed that the game will launch on November 15th. The trailer, which you can watch, which Dev should be showing right now, gives a first look into the game's two protagonists, Now and Yasuke. In Assassin's Creed Shadows, you will live the intertwined stories of Now, an adept shinobi assassin from Iga province, and Yasuke, the powerful African samurai of historical legend, the game's description reads. Against the backdrop of the turbulent late Sengoku period, this remarkable duo will discover their common destiny as they usher in a new era for Japan. From chaos to purpose, from darkness to light, a new creed rises over Japan. Now, Ubisoft is also, before we give our thoughts, Ubisoft has said that you can expect to see the gameplay reveal at the Ubisoft Forward on June 10th, which we will be doing a watch-along live stream Sunday, June 10th. It's going to be a huge show for us because we're going to be watching the Xbox Showcase, the Ubisoft Forward, and whatever else is going on that day. So be here. Devro's going to be freaking out. That's going to be like your big test is like of what you've been doing over here. Because it's not going to be just us talking with you playing some YouTube videos and doing all the work you've been doing. Now it's going to be like
a live show.
A live show. Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm very excited for it, though. Maybe we'll get some special guests. Maybe we'll get Ty. Maybe we'll see what we can do. We have something planned a little ways out. I don't know, but when it releases, Assassin's Creed Shadows, as we talked about last week, will only be available on current gen. So that's Xbox Series consoles, PS5, and of course PC. It's the first game in a decade. Well, it'll be the first like major game in a decade to not release on a Xbox One or PS4.
Okay.
Now this jump obviously is even more. It's more so dramatic on the Xbox side because I believe there have been some PS5 exclusive games. I think like God of War Ragnarok is only on PS5.
Yeah,
I think there's like.
right.
But, like, Xbox has been very supportive of their Xbox One user base, which is also why their consoles don't do that as well. People never talk about that statistic, but guarantee you, when games like Assassin's Creed Shadows and GTA 6 come out, that Xbox One gamer who want to play these newer games, they're probably going to upgrade. I don't know if they'll upgrade to a series console, but they're going to upgrade to something on a console.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyways, let's talk about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Dev, let's open up the floor with you. What did you think about Assassin's Creed Shadows?
It was what I wanted. Like,
It's what I wanted.
yeah, I don't know what else to say. It looks like a great game.
Mm-hmm.
So far. I like the narrative they're going for. Yeah.
Yeah, Japan is a setting that, like I know a lot of people
from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Like, a lot of people have wanted the Japan setting for a long time. It's always been, like, for me, it was always one of, like, my top 3. Like, I've always wanted, like, a Japanese Assassin's Creed, or one set in Japan. One set during World War II is another one that I really want. Like, something in Europe in, like, the 1940s would be so cool.
mm-hmm.
Really, those are the big two. And then, I mean, yeah, those are the big two for me that I would love. But I watching the trailer, obviously, like, hamper expectations because this is not gameplay, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But it's a tone set. It's a tone setter.
For this.
Yeah, and Assassin's Creed has always done these trailers very well. But again, I just think it's a really awesome showing for them.
Yeah.
We were talking about this. I do love that there's dual protagonists, and I like that they play very differently. At least, I'm pretty sure they're going to play differently. I can't see them being similar. One seems more combat focused. The other one seems more stealth focused. I definitely want to do the more stealth based option when available. But I'm looking forward to this game. I think the game looks like a lot of fun. It really sets the tone. I'm a big sucker for like the red and black color scheme.
Mm-hmm.
So like I just love everything about this. I love the art of it. I love the trailer, and Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite franchises. Even though it's going to be one of the RPG ones, which is not my preference in Assassin's Creed, like I think this game still looks.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be fine in this.
Yeah, it's gonna be phenomenal.
It also sounds like they're gonna beef up the assassin stuff up a little bit.
I hope so,
because actually hiding in shadows and like light will be a big thing. So
yeah, I hope so, and I would like to see them not forget their roots, and I think that's the biggest reason why the RPG Assassin's Creeds haven't like. I really loved Origins, but like other than that, like even Origins kind of failed to capture me in the middle parts. But like, don't forget about your roots. If you want to be an RPG, giant RPG, like okay, but at the end of the day, the game is called Assassin's Creed, and I think that's something like even Valhalla didn't do very well. Like, and no, like Valhalla does a really bad job at being an Assassin's Creed game, in my opinion. I think it's really focused on being this big open world RPG that it kind of loses a lot of the identity of the franchise. Obviously, there's some plot things that keep it together, but like you don't even play as like Eivor is not an assassin. Yeah. Nor is the main character of Odyssey. Like, nor is the main character of Origins really until the end. I mean, that's the origin of the Brotherhood, so like it gets a pass. But I just want them to kind of remember their roots of the like Assassin's Creed fans love the assassins and love the Brotherhood, and it's what really draws them in. So don't forget about that. And looking at Red, it feels like they haven't. So obviously we'll have to wait till we see more at the Ubisoft Forward, but first showing was a very strong showing in my opinion. Number 2 on the headlines, we're going to talk about it a little bit more later, but Hellblade 2 launches tomorrow, so everybody is talking about Hellblade. So much so that we do actually have some news about the studio in general. So first we're going to go into a Windows Central article. Making games is difficult. Ninja Theory studio head talks at the 4 of Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2's Xbox and PC launch. So this is a really good article and a interview with the studio head, Dom Matthews. That I think you should go check out. However, I did want to, in terms of the news, direct to the end of the article. So, let's see, where did it go? So, some people on social media... So, there was this funny thing that happened today. And so, the studio put out a tweet thanking people. Like, hey, it's time. We've worked on this game for years. It's coming out. Thank you. And so, some people... one of them was like a PlayStation content creator. He was like, this sounds like a goodbye to me. They must be closing this studio shortly. And Jez Corden from Windows Central said that some people on social media have been trying to spin that message as a negative, with some extrapolating that Ninja Theory as a smaller team within the Microsoft Pantheon may be targeted by Microsoft cost cutters in the financial suite. However, Windows Central can confirm from their trusted sources that in addition to Project Mara, which is a game that they've announced previously, Ninja Theory's next game has already been greenlit. There are no plans whatsoever to close the studio anytime soon. Okay. So that was really great news to hear.
Yeah.
And again, we're going to talk a little about Hellblade later. But, so kind of diving in a little bit more into this. So, like I said earlier, the tweet was from Detective Seeds. And they were like, yeah, it strikes me as a goodbye. Jez responded on Twitter as, except they had their game greenlit. Now, of course, this guy, like, he backpedaled. He's like, I didn't say goodbye for the studio. I meant for, like, Senua, haha. And, like, people are like, no, we know what you meant. Yeah. Real bad faith stuff. So...
I mean, can you blame Xbox fans? Like, they're still,
again,
hurting off of...
Well, for sure. Look, and again, like, I've talked about it. I'm very upset with Xbox still, and they need to do better and show me the games. But, like, there are people that are doing it in bad faith, and I think that that's two different things. Now, Jez doesn't openly say what this game is. All he does is he confirms that it's not the Project Mara, so that means it's another game that's just been greenlit. Okay. However, luckily, Gaz of at Septic Sauce, who is he's an insider as well. He knows like the Colt Eastwoods and the Jez Cortons. He's kind of around in that level. He said that it is Hellblade 3. Hellblade 3 has been greenlit. Xbox gave Ninja Theory assurances already, apparently after the Tango Games fiasco. So yeah, that's what Gaz is saying, and a lot of the other Xbox, like that circle of like Xbox people, like creators and the know-how, are kind of like Colt Eastwood was like, I can't really say anything, but they're not done yet and stuff like that. Okay. So a lot of positive news coming out of the studio. Yeah, and I thought it was really cool that Gaz came out. I was like, hey, like Xbox has already assured Ninja Theory that like you guys are safe, like, and everything's good. So and like let them make their games without feeling threatened. So I think that's great. We will be talking about Hellblade 2 later on, but wanted to run through the great news that Ninja Theory is not done, and they will be working on their next project shortly.
Yeah, they'll be around.
Number 3 on the headlines. Call of Duty, which is the title is rumored to be Black Ops 6, is coming to Game Pass. According to the Wall Street Journal, the title, believed to be Black Ops 6, will be coming day and date to Game Pass. Past rumors have suggested that Microsoft had been heavily considering against the move, but Wall Street Journal claims that the company has made their decision. Microsoft plans a major shakeup of its video game sales strategy by releasing the coming installment of Call of Duty to its subscription service instead of the long-time lucrative approach of selling it a la carte. This isn't particularly new news, though, as earlier this month, Sarah Bond, kind of like low-key, was like, the whole slate's coming to Game Pass. But this is Wall Street Journal really kind of saying, like, hey, they made their decision, it's coming to Game Pass. And, like, this was something that I know, like, in our Discord, which if you're listening, you should definitely join our Discord. Ty and I were kind of going back and forth about where, like, I didn't know if Xbox was going to make that move. I mean, they've made, since buying Activision, they have not made what I would consider to be consumer-friendly moves in a very, like, change of direction feel for them. So I would not have been surprised if they had kind of pulled the rug out from underneath Game Pass users and did not go with that. But that being said, very glad that they aren't going that route. I want Call of Duty on Game Pass. I mean, I want Xbox to succeed. I don't want them to go away. I mean, I still don't. So having Call of Duty on Game Pass will be great for them, and it'll be great to get, you know, hopefully Game Pass can take off, because I've definitely, admittedly, with the failure of Tango Gameworks, I do have questions about Game Pass and its sustainability. So I would say that Xbox has gone all in on Game Pass, but I want to see them now. Like, now it's like put up or shut up. Like, how all in on Game Pass are you?
Yeah.
Will you put Call of Duty on it? And according to this, they will. We will be getting the Black Ops 6 direct after the Xbox showcase. So that's been reported by The Verge. So we're going to get a good long look at Black Ops 6. It's being made by Treyarch, who, in my opinion, are the best Call of Duty developers. That's just, as someone who plays year in, year out, I think, I generally think Treyarch makes the best games out of all the developers that do it.
And I feel like it feels like Black Ops is a very loved series. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, Modern Warfare and Black Ops were always, like, the big two kind of throughout the years. Mm-hmm. I just feel like in recent years, Black Ops kind of took that number one spot. Maybe that's just my opinion. I don't know. But that's kind of how I've always felt about it. But yeah, so Call of Duty's coming to Game Pass. Now, however, there will be some changes coming alongside it that we are not aware of yet. But with reports circulating that Microsoft is set to put Call of Duty Black Ops 6 onto Game Pass at launch, the company appears ready to make changes at the services tiers as well. According to multiple insiders, Xbox Game Pass is set to receive changes to its tiers due to the addition of Call of Duty. Quote, "We can assure you that the changes are coming to Game Pass tiers mainly due to Call of Duty," insider Extas 1STV. I'm sorry, I don't know why I can't read that lead just right now. There are still things to confirm, but I hope to report back soon. Shinobi602, who is another insider on Reset Era, said there will be changes, yes. Whether that means price changes or simply adding another premium tier remains to be seen, but it seems clear that more changes are in store for Game Pass. Currently, the service has 3 total plans: Game Pass Core for $9.99 a month, Game Pass PC for $9.99 a month, and Game Pass Ultimate, which has both console and PC, for $16.99 a month. So we haven't gotten a confirmation on this yet. This is all reporting. Forrest just got done work. He's here.
Hey, Forrest.
Forrest, what did you think of Assassin's Creed? We just wrapped up talking about that. But so Call of Duty coming to Game Pass. I think that's great. I do want to see.
It's very big for Game Pass. First of all,
it's huge.
If they don't mess this up, that's really big for them.
So I want to get your opinion. What do you think the Game Pass change will be?
I think
like a prediction. Do you think it's going to be a price increase? Do you think it's going to be an added tier?
It has to be an added tier. I hope they add another tier.
And what would you have that tier be?
That tier allows you to play day one games. I think from now on, if you want to play games day one, you have to pay a premium.
And Ty is here as well. Ty and Forrest coming in at the same time. What are these guys doing? Oh my god.
I think that's what it is. I'm trying to think of anything else they could, leverage.
Ty's in Japan. He's in Tokyo.
Oh, nice.
Ty took the Assassin's Creed thing really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Call of Duty going to Game Pass is just.
What do you think? It sounds like you can't even think of anything they could.
No.
Add
So
or like.
For me, I think that they should. I don't know. I think Game Pass Ultimate's pricing of $17 a month. I think that's a great price point. Part of me wants them. I would say get rid of PC Game Pass. I would scrap PC Game Pass, and
no, but like you need a lower tier for people who don't have consoles.
Hear me out. I would scrap PC Game Pass and introduce a new middle tier of Game Pass that would I think Game Pass should include console and PC no matter where you play.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
So I think the PC Game Pass is redundant. $9.99.
So they would have to keep the price though.
You don't have to. Not necessarily.
But because they're not going to take any, you know what I mean? They're not going to take anything away.
Yeah, and then LD Tatum, we'll get to you.
What would be the difference between the $9.99 and the 17?
I would say do like a 13 or 14 a month for a middle tier. I think you have Game Pass Core, and that gives like the 25 titles. I think that's basically your Xbox Live. It's your cheap access to Game Pass.
Yeah, that one should stay.
And I think that stays $9.99. I think with what I would do is I would do the middle tier, and it I don't know exactly what it would be, but I think you just kind of I think what you're saying kind of basically, where I think Game Pass Ultimate as it is, that should be for the first party games. And it's like $17 a month, all the first party games. And then I think this middle tier you have it be, this is like Game Pass, but maybe not all the first party offerings, or maybe not the premium first party offerings. I really don't want to see them raise the premium Game Pass tier above $17 a month.
I think they're going to.
They probably will. I can't really. I'm not very pleased with it. I think in today's world, at that point, is Game Pass Ultimate the most expensive of membership, not just in gaming but period? I think it is, and I think that I
can see them adding $4 or $5 extra for a premium.
So I think what you could do is you could do things to justify it a little bit, but I think you would have to give a little bit more. I would like to see a WoW subscription thrown in there, amongst other things.
Yeah.
I think there's other things you could do.
I agree with that, actually.
LD Tatum talking about the AC Shadows topping the pre-order charts. Yeah, I thought that narrative was dumb. We were talking about before we went live. It's that character is literally someone that exists in history.
Yeah.
He's a real person.
Yeah.
It's just silly. People get so weird about that. Look, I don't really care.
I told you before, I actually didn't. I saw all the defending part of it. I couldn't actually see the hate. I didn't see where anyone was like, "Oh, this sucks because of this."
I did see a little bit, but again, I try to tune out some of the negative. I just try to not.
I was actively looking for it because I was I see all the defense for it, and even the comments are all positive. Mm. There's not a lot of people that hate it. Well, that I've seen. So maybe they deleted their stuff or whatever, but it is dumb.
Yeah. So LD Tatum also says Game Pass is cancerous to the industry and consumers. So I don't necessarily... So I don't know if I 100% agree with that. I think that there is definitely... I have some questions, especially with the recent Xbox Studio closures. But I don't know. I think that Game Pass can be sustainable. At least I think it can be. I can't say with 100% certainty at this point. But... I know that as a consumer, it's great for me. I've been subscribed to Game Pass for a couple years now. And
It's such a great option.
I'm generally...
I'm thinking about even for parents that have kids, like, growing up, like, Game Pass would have been perfect. Like,
oh, yeah.
Your parents pay that, and you're done.
I mean, also for me, another thing... And, like, that's how I look at Game Pass. So, like, Game Pass... In the all-digital world, ownership is meaningless. So, like, people who get upset about owning your digital games, like, you don't own digital games. Like, you just don't.
Yeah.
So, like, I would rather just save money on these digital games. Because we see it all the time now where games get delisted or they, like... Luckily, Adult Swim, like, went back on that. But, like, there are all these stories coming out about it. LD says that Game Pass is sustainable for indie games, but it hurts AAA. That's a great argument. Again,
I think it's more that route. And I think we're going to end up paying a premium price for those AAA games, But I think it could also expand. I think, like you said, maybe we have future Assassin's Creed games on there because of that premium price. They can pay for that. Maybe we get subscriptions. Hey, if you buy this game. Every first X party game, you get the season pass, the first season pass that comes with it. Like premium,
right.
Like, give awards for that, and I think it'll be fine. I think it will get more expensive, and we're going to see maybe another middle tier. But
I think Call of Duty is a great test for this, and we're going to see. I mean, a year from now, we'll have a better idea. I mean, how Xbox handles it, and we'll see. I don't know. Just don't have enough data right now, I think. I know that Game Pass is great for people who have Game Pass. I have Game Pass, and I think it's phenomenal. The amount of games that I've been playing on it, and, like, admittedly, a lot of the smaller the games I'm playing, a lot of them are smaller indie games.
Something to the Discord today. They reached 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, the new Big City Kitty game had 1 million players on Game Pass.
That's awesome.
It is great. And Ty says they shouldn't add an extra tier, just raise the price. I mean, we'll see. The way that they say changes are coming makes me think that, like, it might not even necessarily be a price. I don't know. It might not even be a price increase. It could be another tier that replaces PC Game Pass. Because, again, I really do think that in 2024, PC Game Pass is a redundant tier. Like, I just don't... So, like... And that might be how they kind of offset that cost, because PC Game Pass is all the Game Pass games, just the PC ones, no console. So, if a lot of your focus could be shifting to the PC front... You're like, why would you not charge that PC player $17 a month? You get what I'm saying? That's where my thought process is, because PC Game Pass is all of the games.
Console game though.
Most of them, like almost like a good amount of them.
Because I know
it has all the first party games are PC Game Pass. Maybe some of the indie games or like the third party games don't make PC Game Pass, but
they don't.
But generally speaking, most of the releases, because I look at the releases weekly. There's a few, but all the first-party ones are definitely on PC.
I do think they keep it because there is a huge just PC gamers in general, and I think they should just keep it for them.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying though. Like if they want to maximize their profit on the Call of Duty, making it to Game Pass, and they're looking at this PC user base, which is a large portion for them. At least I feel like it's a large portion for them. You would think that they would like, hey, why aren't we charging them the Game Pass Ultimate price? That's my point. That's where I think the change is going to be. It's going to be PC Game Pass. You kind of scrap that and you come up with some sort of middle tier. I don't know what that middle tier is, but then you're saying like, hey, if you want to play Call of Duty day and date, you need to get Game Pass Ultimate, and maybe they raise it by $1 or $2. I don't know. I'd rather not, but I don't. That's what I would do.
We'll see. I do think we're going to see another tier though.
So Tatum says, I think we can agree that if we actually owned our digital games and changes were made for refund ownership with Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft, it would make people happy and progress could be made. Yeah, unfortunately, it just... And like, I'm big on game ownership, Tatum. Welcome to the channel, by the way. We're called the Game Room because literally in the next room over, I have wall-to-wall video games. So I'm all about game ownership, but at the end of the day, like, I just need to be realistic about it. As Devro usually says, like, you just got to be realistic about it. And
we don't own our games anymore.
Yeah, like, you just don't. It's just factual. You just don't.
Yeah.
Forrest likes PC Game Pass, says it's pretty good. Middle tier, solid, only Konami games. That would be a bad tier. I mean, Konami used to make great games. They used to.
To access it,
you got to put the Konami code. I was about to say that. But yeah, so we'll be talking more about Call of Duty and Game Pass in the coming months, both at the Xbox Showcase in June. Thanks, Tatum. Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for subbing.
Really appreciate you. Yeah, we usually go live Monday nights, about 8 p.m. East Coast time. So, if you're free on Monday nights, will more often than not be here.
And join the Discord.
Oh yeah, please join the Discord. We're trying to pump that up a little bit. We got to get some more people in there. We can't just have me and Ty fighting with you coming in. Like, what happened? It's like the meme where the dude walks in carrying the pizza and everything's on fire. Yeah. It's just like, oh man. But yeah, the Discord's in the description, so make sure you check us out. Let's move on to number 4 on the headlines. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be releasing in fall 2025. That's right, folks. The series finale of video games.
I don't believe it.
You know, we were all worried, like, is it coming out in the early 2025? We now know that we have a little bit more time. Are you playing the...
Yeah.
That's really cool that you're playing the real-life one. So the new release window was confirmed by Take-Two as part of its financial report for fiscal year 2024. Listing some of the games planned for the next 3 fiscal years, the company said GTA 6 will be launching fall of 2025. It also confirmed the development of their next NBA and WWE 2K titles.
These graphics are amazing, by the way.
So realistic. The most realistic looking game. Everybody look at the graphics of GTA 6 and how realistic they are. Discussing its projected revenue for the fiscal year 2025, Take-Two noted that GTA 6 won't be releasing in that period. Our outlook reflects narrowing of Rockstar Games' previously established window of calendar 2025 to fall of calendar 2025 for GTA 6. Consumer anticipation for the title is unprecedented, which is very true. That's just correct. Yeah. Excuse me, too. And our expectations for its commercial input continue to increase. The GTA 6 trailer released in December, and as we were talking about last week, there might be another trailer coming up shortly. I actually think this makes a lot of sense. I do think the GTA 6... I think GTA 6 comes out.
I just imagine other developers, like, ripping papers
like,
off their walls.
Damn it!
Yeah.
Get the game out now.
You have to get your game out way before.
Or way after. Just get out of the way. Yeah. Next holiday season, you would have to... Is this Florida footage?
Basically.
Yeah, so Forrest, this was a YouTube channel. You should really check it out. I'll link it in the Discord later. But someone made a 1-for-1 remake of the GTA 6 trailer in real life. And it is really phenomenal. Like, it is a really well done recreation of that trailer. Like, down to, like, the T for some of the, you know, details. So, yeah, we'll put that in the Discord later. So make sure you check that out. But I'm excited for GTA 6. And I think it will meet that fall deadline. I do think that.
That's exciting.
Yeah, the last video game ever. Grand Theft Auto 6. All right, number 5. Well, Jim Ryan has been replaced at PlayStation. Not by one CEO, Devro. They hired 2. PlayStation announces that it has hired 2 CEOs to replace Jim Ryan. And those are Herman Holst and Hideaki Nishino. They will take over as joint CEOs starting on June 1st. That means Hiroki Totoki will no longer be the PlayStation CEO.
You're sad about that.
I'm very sad about that. I think Hiroki Totoki forever, as far as I'm concerned.
He was only there for a little, right?
I mean, he's still the Sony CEO, but he was acting PlayStation CEO. Holst moves on from his role as head of PlayStation Studios to the role of CEO of the newly formed Studio Business Group. Holst's group will be responsible for all of PlayStation's first-party games, as well as the PlayStation IP on TV and film. He had been the head of PlayStation Studios since 2019 and is also known as a co-founder of Guerrilla Games, the studio behind the Killzone and Horizon franchises. It's a true privilege to be asked to lead the new Studio Business Group for Sony Interactive, Holst said in a statement on Twitter. I'm excited to continue working with incredibly talented teams. Nintendo just bought a studio, Ty? Yes, we were literally going live as that happened, so that'll be on next week. But yeah, no, it's not a big acquisition. It's the studio that, ported Hogwarts and Mortal Kombat. But more on that next week. It's a true privilege to be asked to lead this business group, says Holst. I'm excited to continue working with incredibly talented teams and studios to deliver unforgettable game and entertainment experiences. Regarding Nishino, he moves into the role of CEO of the Platform Business Group. In his new position, he will be responsible for PlayStation console hardware, accessories, technology, the PlayStation Network, and third-party relations for both major publishers and indie studios. Before the promotion, Nishino was SVP of Platform Experiences. He says, I am honored to be appointed such an important role alongside Herman, Nishino said. By working more closely together, we will be positioned to build incredible experiences for an ever-expanding audience now and in the future. Both Nishino and Holst will report directly to Sony Interactive Entertainment chairman Hiroki Totoki.
There it is.
He's still there. My guy. Totoki has been PlayStation's interim CEO since Ryan's departure. Forrest says, Hiroki Totoki forever. New CEO. Hashtag not my CEO. I'm with you on that. You know, Hiroki Totoki is the king of PlayStation. That's my guy. You know, sometimes, like when Reggie Fils-Aimé came along, you're like, you know what, that's my guy. Like, Hiroki Totoki is my guy. I am a Hiroki Totoki guy.
That's good.
But I think it's really smart for them to split up these responsibilities, though. I mean, we saw a similar thing happen with Xbox when they did their restructuring. Kind of the way Sarah Bond is like the head of Xbox, and then the terrible at his job, Matt Booty, is in charge of the games department. I mean, I just think it's a smart way to do it, because hardware and like your platform and then the software on that platform are two very different things. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a smart move by them to kind of spread this out a little bit. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how to run a company, but it seems like it's better to have two people split it up.
I think I can run a company.
You think you can run a company?
I would just put Pokemon on an SO. Call it a day.
You're insane.
The Nintendo's watching this and they're like, what is he talking about? What does he mean put Pokemon on NSO?
Kicked off the board immediately.
Yeah, I would be fired. I'd be like, I have to make it happen though. Tatum says, I need Kaz, kind of leadership by example. Yeah, I get that. Now, they are inheriting some challenges. Paul Tassi at Forbes this past week did a report that Sony says PS5 sales... Oh, an ad has blocked my entire page. I don't know how to get rid of this ad. There it is. Okay. Sony says PS5 sales have peaked after a 29% decline. The console market is facing strong headwinds as we head into the latter half of this generation, something that is affecting both Xbox and PlayStation. Just weeks after Xbox announced a 31% year-over-year decline for hardware sales, Sony has now announced an almost identical decline of 29% over the same period for PlayStation 5. That was 20.8 million sales, just missing its 21 million target, but that has already been dropped from 25 million previously. Now Sony says it expects PS5 sales to continue to decline going forward, as 18 million sales are predicted for the next fiscal year. The console has peaked, and at this point, it looks like PS5 will not ultimately catch the PS4 in sales. Of course, Sony is selling more PS5s than Xbox, even if percent declines are similar, and Xbox doesn't report exact numbers. Estimates usually put things at around a 2-to-1 sales ratio, similar to previous generation.
So wait, did you see the news about how they sold 5 times more?
There was an analyst who kind of, speculated that, but most general assumptions is that it's a 2-to-1 margin.
Okay.
I did see that, though. But that was one analyst. As other analysts have said 2-to-1. But again, it's really hard to dictate because Xbox does not. They haven't reported real, actual numbers since, the 360 days, I think. I don't know if they even did that in the 360 days. But I could be wrong. Ty says, smart move, as long as both are on the same page. Last thing you need is conflict, but this shouldn't really lead to that. I agree. Throw him out of the boardroom, says Forrest. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely some issues right now in the games landscape. Tatum says, pandemic hit hard. More people have gone back to work. This gen has been seriously weird. Yeah, Tatum, I mean, I think that there are legit concerns. Oh, okay, Ty says they're selling 5 times more in, Europe.
Okay.
That's what it is. But, in North America, it's more of a 2-to-1.
Okay.
Who cares about those stinky... No, I'm just trying to crap on Ty. I have no idea if Tatum is European or... I don't know, so I'm not going to go there. I was just trying to troll Ty a little bit, but... No, I think that, the pandemic did hit people hard. I mean, it is a weird generation. You have a lot of people who did not move forward to the next generation, both on Xbox One and PS4. And Xbox and PlayStation didn't really make it a priority to make people make that jump. Very few titles have come out for PS5 that aren't on PS4. And Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be the first Xbox Series game that doesn't come out on Xbox One.
It was difficult, though.
Tatum is American. Okay, nice. So, yeah, you stinky European Ty.
I get it. It was difficult because they couldn't have parts. Everything was so expensive. The shipping was horrible.
Yeah.
So like people couldn't even get their hands on consoles. And not to mention scalpers. Like people
Yeah,
couldn't get
yeah.
their hands on consoles for a really long time.
And then, like Tatum said, the pandemic did really affect the industry.
Yeah.
Woodar in it. But no, like it really affected the industry just because everyone was at home playing games and there was a surge and gaming companies triple invested where they probably shouldn't have, and that's why you see a lot of these layoffs. Not defending them, but that's just what it is. Yeah, it's a weird gen, and it's a gen that
very weird.
We need to get back on track. We'll get on track right before it ends. It's like GTA 6 will come out and it'll be only current gen and everyone will buy current gen consoles, and then the next Xbox will launch in 2026.
It's a clean slate, GTA.
Yeah.
You're putting a lot on this game.
I mean, it's Grand Theft Auto 6.
Yeah, you're right.
I know I'm right. Speaking of the next Xbox in 2026, number 6 on the headlines. A new claim from a Call of Duty data miner suggests that the next Xbox console could launch as soon as 2026. The console would also feature that year's Call of Duty as a launch title. Hearing from trusted sources that the next Xbox is planned to release in late 2026, the Ghost of Hope wrote. Very likely that COD 2026 is a day one release for it. Call of Duty 2026 is being developed by Infinity Ward. It's also worth noting that Ghost of Hope has sources within Activision, which could be where he gets his information from. Microsoft has gone on record multiple times in saying that a next-generation Xbox console would be coming. In an episode of the official Xbox podcast in February, Sarah Bond did say that the company was excited about what's coming with the future of hardware, saying that they were even going to have an announcement, this holiday. So yeah, we'll see more about that. This was also kind of reported a couple months ago by the XNC podcast with Colt Eastwood, where they had basically said that they had heard from their sources that they were planning a launch in 2026 as well. Which, again, that would be a really strong launch year for them because, I mean, maybe they get Elder Scrolls out by then. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a really great stuff. Tatum needs a dedicated handheld from PlayStation and Microsoft. That's coming. That's the next generation for them. I think that they see the success of the Switch and the Steam Deck, and they want to be in on that. So, I mean, we've already heard the rumblings of the Xbox next console is going to have 2 SKUs. One's like a Series X kind of powerful console, and then the other one's kind of a hybrid that's going to be like a Switch. Yeah, like a Switch. Yeah. So that's already being talked about with the sources and all that stuff. So, just gotta wait and see. Number 7, and what really for me, when Ty shared this in the Discord, my reaction was, what? What are you talking about? They just closed 4 studios.
Yeah.
Activision has launched a new AAA studio, Elsewhere Entertainment, headquartered in Poland. Elsewhere Entertainment, an all-new internal studio at Activision, is working on a new narrative-based and genre-defining AAA franchise. Elsewhere includes developers credited on The Last of Us, Uncharted, Destiny, Cyberpunk, and more. Activision's new studio announcement comes just a week after its parent company, Microsoft, closed 3 Bethesda studios.
Murdered 3 studios.
It also has new job listings about a new Activision IP. So, Elsewhere Entertainment. Look, all right. So, the Xbox studio closures last week really rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, myself included. And now Xbox is tasked with getting back on track. And they can get there. On paper, this sounds great. Like AAA studio with that pedigree, working on a genre defining, which, like, I don't know what it would be, but it sounds great. Tatum says, I need to get hands on the game before I get excited about that. That's exactly.
I need to see at least something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, I can't get excited about it, but the announcement was so hilarious to me because it's just like, you guys just closed 3-4 studios last week. But, AAA games, they want to make them, so hopefully they're good. We'll see. We'll talk about them in a couple years, I guess. Because they just started. Like, we're not seeing
the studio together. We're not seeing anything for
we'll see you in 10 years.
Yeah,
I might be dead in 10 years, to be honest. Who knows? I don't even know. So, Ty says, it's almost like Matt Booty was telling the truth about reallocating resources, and all this doom and gloom was for an overreaction for a studio, Tango, that doesn't do the numbers. Ty, the shareholder, coming in here with a flip. I remember when Ty was in his like not business suit and he was just like, I can't believe they closed Tango. This sucks. This is terrible. Awful. And then Ty was like, he got the check. Check cleared. He's like, I love that they closed Tango Gameworks. Oh man. Not good.
I agree with you though. It is like, they're putting a team together with really great people. Yeah. Credits at least.
So fire the other people. Get
I don't know
them
about
out
that
here.
part, but
revoke their access. They give the office to the new guy.
Hey, maybe they're working on the second game that Tango made. They're making a sequel for it.
I don't know about
that. You never know.
So what's going on, everybody? Make sure you hit the like button, by the way, and subscribe if you haven't already. Ty says the money's flying in. Ty, the shareholder. Let's move on to number 8. Big news for the Starfield fans, myself included. They're really they've had updates, but the first big update is out. It is the biggest update that they've had. It arrives officially on Xbox X, Series S, and PC. This is an update that adds new performance options on Xbox, along with a variety of other improvements. The additional features here include improved surface maps, lots of new ways to tweak the gameplay, interior ship decorations, a new third-person camera for dialogue sequences, and so much more. You can go check out the patch notes. I never run through patch notes here on the podcast because they're very long.
A lot of those are they're mods. People already made them, so it sounds like they're just integrating them into the game.
Yeah.
Without the mods. So that's cool.
Tatum says, "Crazy to say we need smaller games that win accolades just to close them." Yeah, that Matt Booty thing was fucking ridiculous. Yeah, it was wild. I love Xbox. Like really, it's my platform of choice in terms of like everyday usage, and it's just like I'm always gonna be honest about Xbox though, and it's just like I'm like Matt Booty, just stop talking, Matt. Forrest, what's a Starfield? It is the best game that came out in 2023. Forrest, and also you spelled it wrong. It's I before E, except after C. The little grammar trick. Forrest did not pay attention in school. Yeah. He was too busy setting fires and breaking his leg in gym class. Damn. I came over to him, though. When he broke his leg, nobody else cared enough to go over to him. They were those jerks, those other kids. I was like, Forrest, are you okay? He's like, I think I broke my leg. I don't think he actually said that. He was in a lot of pain. He was kicking a soccer ball around. He stepped on the ball, and I'm like, oh my God. I ran over, and I was like, are you okay? Oh, I'm laughing now, but it wasn't funny then. He's like, I'm going to go home and start a fire. Anyways, enough of the roast of Forrest. Ty says, when they had a smaller games, they meant games like Pentiment and Grounded, games that don't take millions and 5 years to make. Hi-Fi Rush is not a small game. The creator mentioned it was costly. Anyways, so the Starfield update came out, and now that article does not mention that Starfield also got its 60 FPS update in the update as well.
Oh, that's cool. Series X only, I believe, right?
I believe you're correct. The latest major update added a bunch of new stuff, so much so that Xbox players counts are up by 72%. Players are flocking back to Starfield. More players are firing up their ships to chase down the Starfield achievements. Sorry, this is from True Achievements. That's why they mentioned the achievements. Following the arrival of the big update, with Starfield Xbox's player numbers seeing a boost of over 70%. Our latest gameplay chart shows the arrival of May 15th's major update. Starfield has leapt up 9 places. So True Achievements keeps track of how many people are playing because they track the achievements and stuff. So it went up by a respectable 72%. Forrest said, I died. Crazy excited for V Rising. Yeah. We've got Starfield down as one of the best Xbox exclusives, says True Achievements. But yeah, it's great that people are going back to Starfield. I have not gone back to it yet. I'm waiting to hear more about Shattered Space before I make my plans. We talked about it last year. And I'll talk about it more in the future. But I cannot wait to go back to Starfield. It is something that I will be doing this year. Okay. And Octopath Traveler 2 when it finally comes out on Xbox. Oh. Which, where the fuck is Octopath Traveler 2 for Xbox? What are we doing? They're like, give him a break. He played Octopath Traveler 2 for 3 months last year.
It's only on... Is it only on Switch?
It's on PlayStation as well.
Okay.
but I want it on my Xbox.
Yeah.
Achievements and all that stuff. Number 9 on the news headlines, something that Devro is going to love so much. Microsoft's AI will be inside Minecraft and other Xbox PC games, as the new Copilot features will search your inventories, offer tips, and guides. Today is Microsoft's big Surface and AI event, where the firm is detailing the future of Windows on ARM, Surface AI PCs, and new Microsoft Copilot AI features. Forrest says, I want more VR Super Hot. It's on, well, yeah. Super Hot's on GamePass now, I think. So, that's something. Let's see here. During the event, Microsoft showcased one of these new integrations. Microsoft Copilot will be embedded directly in video games, starting with Minecraft. Players will be able to use natural language to ask questions like, how do I craft a sword? And the Copilot will search your chests and inventories for the necessary materials or guide you to them if you don't have them. It will also explain how to craft the item and so on, eliminating the need to Alt-Tab and read a website for Minecraft guides like ours. R.I.P. Windows Central. Windows Central wrote that about themselves. Yeah. Now, that's actually a great point that I saw about this, and I kind of wanted to get your thoughts on this. So, like, with AI, like, the idea is seemingly like, hey, like, they're going to offer in-game guides and all that, but if people use the AI, then the guide sites that the AI is grabbing the information from are going to close down because they don't have the clicks and the views and whatnot. So, like, couldn't this be like a self-destructing... You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think it'll...
Well, because if the AI has to get the information from somewhere...
Yeah, but I don't think it's going to hurt people who write these guides too much.
I don't know. Most of them seem to think so.
No, I think, first of all, you're still going to... The game's going to come out, you're still going to write the guide. If you're trying to do one thing, ask the AI, again, how to make the sword. But if you're trying to, like...
But again, but they're saying that the AI there'll be guides in the game with the AI.
Oh, okay.
And the AI will reach in and look at other guides to give you a guide using, how AI works. I'm not going to break down how AI works to you, but
I don't know. I still don't think so. I mean, they still make paper guides and people buy them. They're more
collector, I think it's different though. I don't think it's the same concept. I don't know. I mean, we'll have to see, but Xbox is going to be integrating AI more into its plans. Tatum says, if it's not a T800 in my game, I don't want it. So there you go. All right. Number 10 on the headlines, a really interesting LEGO mashup could be coming our way, as LEGO and PlayStation are apparently working on a new LEGO Horizon Adventures game. LEGO and PlayStation are developing a new game named LEGO Horizon Adventures. Last week, trademark finder Kurakisis, and again, we talked about these people, these sickos doing all the work. Someone just looking at trademarks, just wait, a PlayStation trademark for LEGO? Those are the real ones. The people that just look at all these databases. But anyways, Kurakisis revealed that the game, but as what seems to be obligatory from insiders these days, Insider Gaming tweeted that the project was on the horizon. So Insider Gaming kind of low-key teased it. Is this Tom Henderson? It is Tom Henderson. Tom's great. He does great work. Speaking with sources, it was said that the game is essentially Horizon Forbidden West, but Lego, and that the game will have realistic graphics, whatever that means for a Lego game. While the exact details of the game are unclear, Tom Warren says he got wind of the advertisement trailer for the game, which was completed last month, which suggests an announcement is on its way, although admittedly could be delayed.
I wonder if it's going to be a full Lego game. Like, it sounds like it is.
I think it is. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Tatum says it's a neat idea for kids, but it's not going to move the units they think. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what it does.
Yeah, I think it's definitely more for collectors.
I mean, I'll check it out. I love Horizon, so I'll check it out for sure. But
yeah, I think it's more for collectors and it's for a niche audience.
It's a game.
Oh, you're right. It's the Lego game.
It's not about the collectors. It's a Lego game.
Yeah.
But if you love Horizon, you'll. I mean, there was that announcement of like a year ago where they said they were like going to make a bunch of Horizon projects. So not really surprised. Okay. I mean, because I think they're also working on like an MMO Horizon game or other things like that. So
trying to build a franchise.
Yeah, exactly. Number 11. Speaking of establishing a franchise, an established franchise is getting a new live-action series as Prime Video, the makers of the Fallout TV show, are ordering a Tomb Raider show.
I did not know that.
Prime Video announced last week that it has ordered a Tomb Raider series with Phoebe Waller-Bridge from Fleabag set as writer and executive producer. The project comes as part of a deal between Crystal Dynamics and Amazon MGM Studios, originating through DJ2's first look deal with the studio, to develop additional Tomb Raider stories in streaming and film. Tomb Raider will premiere exclusively on Prime Video in more than 240 countries and territories worldwide. Prime has all your entertainment and streaming needs at a single membership. So Fallout was an amazing show. So I'm really down for Tomb Raider as a show as well. It's kind of funny because I thought that the Tomb Raider movie that they made like a decade ago was actually like really good, and they kind of abandoned it, which kind of sucked. I don't know. Did you see that movie?
No, I didn't.
It was really good. I actually have it on Blu-ray. It was a really good movie. But Fallout was so phenomenal. If they approach Tomb Raider with the same love and care, it's going to be a smash hit. So definitely something to look forward to there.
It's kind of funny. It's going to be a show based off a game, based off of another game, based off a movie franchise.
I guess. I don't know. Well, Devro, last week we broke your heart with the Watch Dogs news. And now, here we are, another week, another Ubisoft.
No, we talked about this last week.
Did we?
And the Ubisoft was the week before. Yeah, we talked about this already. Heartlands is gone.
No, this news came out after we did the last pod. Because we did a pod on the 13th. This news came out on the 15th.
Oh, well.
This is news. You're in denial.
I guess there was already rumors or something. Cause
I don't know. Ubisoft has canceled the Division Heartland. That's the news.
Yeah. I knew this already. I swear we talked about this already.
I don't think so. Ubisoft has announced that it had canceled Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland. Oh, no. You know what? You're thinking of that Division like Battle Royale I think they were making.
Maybe. I knew it was a phone thing.
Yeah, the decision comes 3 years after the free-to-play shooter was initially announced. After careful consideration, we have made the tough call to halt development on Tom Clancy's The Division Heartland, effective immediately, the company said in a statement to Insider Gaming. Our priority now is to support the talented team members at our Red Storm Entertainment studio, who will be transitioning to new projects within our company, including X-Defiant and Rainbow Six. So, Division fans, not happy.
Yeah.
Rolling right along, number 13, Toys for Bob could be gearing up for a new game announcement. The Toys for Bob website has been updated to display just its new logo, which could hint that the developer is gearing up for an announcement. While the logo is simply a tease, it's led fans to believe that the Tiki mask could suggest that a new Crash Bandicoot game is coming. The mask could be a subtle nod to Aku Aku in the series, who is the mask that will protect Crash from enemies and hazards, giving Crash an added hit point. That being said, other users on Twitter believe that the purple is hinting at Spyro. I would rather than make another Spyro, just because it's been longer since we had a new Spyro game than a new Crash Bandicoot game.
Okay.
But so we'll see. I mean, hey, it's E3 season coming up in a few weeks.
I would rather a Spyro too.
I would also, rather a Spyro. But yeah, the Xbox Showcase is coming up. Summer Games Fest coming up. I think this would make a lot of sense to get a little announcement at the Xbox Showcase, like, hey, Toys for Bob is making a Spyro game. I think that would be a good little get for them.
Yeah.
Number 14 on the headlines, where we talked about Xbox starting new studios and all this great news. We do have some somber news about Redfall and Hi-Fi Rush. They are getting their final updates this past week. Redfall is getting one final update before the work ends on it entirely. In a message posted on Twitter back on Friday, the game's official account thanked fans for the support, and it was announced that developer Arcane Austin was one of the studios closed. The message went on to reveal some of the features included in the final update, including the finally promised offline mode that will let players play even after Microsoft shuts down the game's servers in the future.
Oh, man.
They said, we're working to release our final update, Game Update 4, that brings revamped neighborhood and nest systems, single-player pausing, offline mode, and more, the Twitter post reads. We'll provide additional details soon. Thank you all. So we know that they are getting up the pretty big update for them, actually. Like, finally getting that offline play and single-player pausing.
Right before you die.
Right before you die. And then Hi-Fi Rush is also getting its final update as well. The update from the Hi-Fi Rush Twitter account comes roughly 1 week after the studio was shut down. They say, "Thank you for your continued support. We're working to release the physical edition of Hi-Fi Rush with our partners at Limited Run Games, as well as a final patch to address some minor issues releasing later today." The closure of Tango Gameworks arrived roughly a year after the team delivered the extremely well-received Hi-Fi Rush. We did not get any details on the update for that one, so we don't know what's coming with that, but it will be coming shortly. So, yeah, bad news on that front. Really sucks, but at least these games are going to get a little bit of something to shine them up before they're sent off.
Yeah.
Which is really a shame because Redfall was still in my backlog, but when the reception came out and then Zelda came out, I never got to play it. And I still, to this day, think I will go play Redfall at some point. I do think that day will come, which is really unfortunate that it's not... Yeah, it's just going to be what it is. But we'll get there someday, so... Number 15 on the headlines, Dev. I thought this... When I saw this headline, I was like...
You were happy.
I was like, Chris Pratt, please. I can't take this. Chris Pratt is saying that Super Mario Bros. 2 and Nintendo Cinematic Universe plans could be a thing. Chris Pratt comments on the Super Mario Bros. 2 movie and how the sequel will further explore a larger universe of Nintendo properties based on the iconic Nintendo video game character. The first Super Mario Bros. Movie from Illumination hit theaters in 2023 before becoming one of the biggest box office hits of the year. It's a phenomenal movie. In a recent interview with Screen Rant, Pratt teases what's to come with the announced Super Mario Bros. 2 movie. According to the actor, there's plenty of room for franchise expansion with a whole interconnected cinematic universe of Nintendo characters potentially on the way. He says, and I quote, "Oh man," when you start with "oh man," there's so much to explore. There are decades worth of games to explore. Not only Mario and Peach and Donkey Kong and Luigi and Bowser and Yoshi that was teased at the end, but it just gets me so excited. I was such a Nintendo head growing up, so just thinking about how everything from Zelda to the entire Nintendo Cinematic Universe could be created and what that could look like for all the characters that I love, I mean, there's really no limit. We could talk about it for hours. The Super Mario Brothers franchise, the movie came out, it was great, and the next one's coming out. Now, I know there's a lot of speculation that there is going to be, like, more, but like, I could see there being discussions between, like, Illumination and Nintendo, where, like, Nintendo, they don't think about things, right? So, like, Nintendo's like, we're going to do a Mario Brothers movie, and then that's it. And Illumination's like, well, I mean,
the money?
Have you ever heard of the Avengers?
You have so many...
You know the billions of dollars that Marvel made off of making Avengers movies?
Who do you think we see next after... If they're going to do...
Kirby.
You think Kirby? Oh, that makes sense. That's right up Illumination's alley.
Yeah, the movie will end and it'll be a Kirby tease. Like, it'll be like Mario and Peach will be like looking up at a starry sky, and then the camera will pan up and it'll go to a planet, and it'll go to Warp Star, which is like Kirby's like little Warp Star.
In Ultimate, Kirby was the only one that survived, so you kind of need him.
Well, that's because Kirby is Sakurai's boy. Which, more on that later. We actually have a Kirby Sakurai story later.
Kirby's also the strongest.
That's, well, according to Sakurai, yeah, sure. But Nintendo Cinematic Universe, it would be great. I hope it happens. Number 16, we have an update from last week's headline about Square Enix no longer being PlayStation servant, I guess you could say. I don't know. They're not taking the Sony money anymore. It wasn't paying enough. It wasn't paying well. After all that went down, Square Enix's share price dropped nearly 16%. When the Tokyo Stock Exchange closed on Monday, the company's share price was sitting at 6,268 yen. As soon as the market opened again today, this plummeted, and at the time of writing now sits at 5,268 yen, a drop of 15.95%. The drop in price appears to show shareholder unease at recent financial results and what's planning in the next couple of years. And that goes into another statement by Square Enix about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Final Fantasy XVI, and Foam Stars. Remember Foam Stars? Most people don't. They all fell short of expectations. According to Bloomberg's Takashi Mochizuki, Square Enix president Takashi Kiryu told analysts that sales of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, 16, and Foam Stars fell short of its expected revenue and profit. As a result, the publisher expects to earn an operating income of 40 billion yen this financial year instead of the analyst estimates of 57 billion yen. That's about a $110 million in difference. Yeah. Explaining in more detail in a post on Twitter, Mochizuki reports that Kiryu said sales of all three games fell short of expectations. Final Fantasy XVI sales were reportedly in line with expectations when it released, but it couldn't keep the momentum up and eventually failed to reach Square Enix's total goal for the financial year. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Foam Stars failed to reach internal targets from day one. Kiryu was reportedly said the publisher was confident Final Fantasy XVI would be able to achieve its goal over its 18-month plan, while Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Foam Stars weren't as much as expected. That didn't mean they were bad. All three underperforming games were PS5 console exclusives, and such, it could be argued that had they been released on Xbox Series X and S, Square Enix could have generated extra income from them. The company now appears to be adopting that line of thinking on Monday. It published a new medium-term business plan, which includes making all of its AAA games multi-platform going forward. Tatum says, Square has always had unrealistic expectations and poor management, to be fair. That's an understandable thing to say. I mean, I don't disagree with that. He also blames games like Forspoken, Avengers, and Foam Stars more than 16 and 7 Rebirth. So, Tatum, the thing is that as a whole, they didn't do well, but the sales for those two games specifically individually didn't do well. They didn't meet their expectations. So we've talked about it a lot on the show, Tatum, obviously, so you're new here. Me personally, I don't like third-party publishers going exclusive. I just don't like it. I didn't like it when PlayStation was doing it with Square Enix. We saw how it ended with Xbox, and the answer was not well. I just don't think it's a sound business strategy, and that's just my opinion. I think Square Enix is definitely on the right track here. Final Fantasy 16 and the 7 Rebirth trilogy should definitely make Xbox releases. I don't think there's any reason for them not to. We talk about the Xbox. The funny thing is that, people that doubt it or that are against the idea or don't think it will make a big dent, they say, PlayStation sold more Xboxes. Just because there's a lot more PlayStation than Xboxes doesn't mean that there aren't any Xboxes out there. Xbox still sold millions and millions and millions of units. That's still, it's well thought. At least it's speculated. So, I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't port these games to those platforms. Maybe even try to get a GamePass deal and get some money that way. I don't know. But I think they could do it. Ty says, Foam Stars was always going to fall short of expectations. That's true. Foam Stars was always going to. I remember us sitting here watching that and just Splatoon? It looks like Splatoon, but not as good. Honestly, I've never understood why anyone would buy Foam Stars. I'm sorry. But the fact that Square didn't release it on PC and Xbox, even Game Pass, as an option is baffling. That CEO was clueless. Because now he's changing his mind. Tatum says, unfortunately, Xbox gamers in the majority don't buy into JRPGs, but I definitely agree that they should always be multi-platform. I think that, while that is a fair statement, I think that there are a lot of Xbox fans that do want to play JRPGs, myself included. So, apart from closing Tango, Xbox has made a push for Japanese games and developers, getting Persona Game Pass deals and getting... we know Octopath Traveler 2 is coming sometime this year. I don't know why it's not out yet. It's just a port. I don't know, but they showed off the new Mana game at the Developer Direct back in January. So there's a lot of things riding there. Dev and I argue about this all the time about JRPGs on Xbox.
No, because he said what I say. He didn't say they shouldn't be on there. He just says
no. That's not what you said. That's not what you said. He raised a legitimate, fair point, as opposed to you, who was just
He said the same thing I said.
No, he didn't.
The majority of who buy into JRPGs,
That's not what you said.
They're on PlayStation. If you play JRPGs, you probably have a PlayStation.
That's not what you said.
You're gonna learn really quickly. This old man is senile, and he hears things.
It's just not
what you said, and it's just a whole big thing. When you say it, he agrees.
It's just not what he said. It's just not what he said. Tatum, thank you for the comment. It's a great comment, and I don't.
No, it's a great comment.
I don't fully agree with
familiar.
it, but I think it's a well made comment, well smart comment. Well informed.
Smart comment. You hear this guy?
Oh man. Anyways, glad you're here, Tatum. So you got me all off track. Anyways, yeah. So Square Enix games are going to be coming to Xbox now. I think it's a great idea. Get them everywhere. Get them on Super Switch when it launches next year. Just you're a third party publisher. Put your games everywhere. Like that's it. That's the tweet.
I'm waiting for the news where it's like Sony buys Square Enix. Like that's.
Yeah, that probably will happen.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna come eventually.
Well, no. Apparently, Sony can't round one fight.
They can't afford
Forest gaslighting 101. Tatum, the whole thing I started with Dev and I doing a podcast. So like I was doing my wrestling podcast and I wanted to start gaming podcast. But like Dev and I have like for years just we have little squabbles that many people, Forrest included, have been like, you guys should do this on a camera, in front of a camera. So when it happens, we don't try to force it, so you don't see it every week. But like when it happens, I think it's entertaining. Who knows? Anyways, speaking of huge successes on multi-platform strategies, Ghost of Tsushima is PlayStation's fourth biggest Steam launch ever. According to figures from SteamDB, the game has attracted a peak. Okay, so there's actually an updated number since I've made this. Hold on. Currently has a peak of 77,154 concurrent players. So it's now actually the second biggest Steam launch for PlayStation.
That's crazy.
And that was an update of today's number today, 4 p.m. I don't know if that's Eastern or not, but today. It's a today update. So that means that Helldivers 2 is number 1, and then number 2 is Ghost of Tsushima. Okay. But I'm telling you, man, the PlayStation day and date first party games to PC at least are coming.
Yeah.
It's going to be happening very soon. So something to keep in mind. Number 18 on the headlines. This was a very exciting story for me personally as an RTS and a Star Wars fan. Creative Assembly is reportedly working on a Total War Star Wars game. A total of 3 new Total War games are apparently in development at Creative Assembly. One of them is being officially licensed to be a Star Wars game. Dual Shockers learned. The last Total War game was released was last year's Total War Pharaoh, which was developed by Creative Assembly Sophia and published by Sega for Windows. A Mac version was also released, but published by Feral Interactive. Total War series is really good, Dev, and getting a Star Wars game.
No, yeah, I think the Total War is like very pleasing to the eyes. Like seeing all those like.
It's such a fun game to watch. I remember G4 had a show like 20 years ago where they used like the original Total War like gameplay, and they just I forget what it was called, but it was such a cool idea.
Yeah, so imagining that, but with Star Wars, like stormtroopers, and that just sounds really cool.
I will be playing it. I will definitely be playing that. If Xbox can get that on GamePass, I'd really appreciate that. Speaking of companies not doing their subscription models well, hey Dev, Nintendo put out more games for the NSO this week.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they put out Super Mario Land for the Game Boy.
Okay.
Popular Game Boy game. Game Boy fans rejoicing. And then they put out Alleyway.
Heard of it.
And for the Game Boy. And baseball. Everyone loves baseball.
What about Pokeballs?
What?
What about Pokeballs?
I'm sorry, Poke what?
Poke
Bowls?
and...
Like ramen? Ladies and gentlemen, this is your weekly reminder that there is no official way to support Pokemon any generation of Pokemon before the Switch era. Nintendo decided to add baseball to NSO instead of any Pokemon games.
They're waiting for the Super Switch. They're waiting for the Switch 2. They're going to drop all the Pokemon games at once.
Do you believe that?
No, not at all.
Then why are you saying it? It's not real. It's not true. It's a lie.
They're going to put...
It's false. It's like that video where it's like, we made it up. It's false. Complete fiction. Man, I don't know. Like, how How do we not have an official way to play Pokemon games? Not just like particular Pokemon games. Almost all of them. Like Gen 1, Gen 2, all the way up through Gen 8.
They should just release it officially for mobile at this point. Like, everyone else is putting out all these emulators.
Yeah.
Just do it yourself.
Seriously. Put it on NSO, though. Like, that's my thing. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I think it's just, it's absurd to me. Tatum says, in terms of the PlayStation for PC ports, they keep saying the new strategy, make PC wait 6 months to a year, and then PC day one seems like it can hurt console. Yeah, but again, I mean, that's the point. Like, they want to see that growth. They want to get those games out day one. They're going to follow Xbox's suit. It's done very well for Xbox in terms of the PC releases. They're going to do that. And they don't, like, in their mind, the console base is what it is, and that's all. Like, it is what it is. Like, you're either buying a PlayStation at this point or you're not, as far as they're concerned. So they don't feel the need to really cater to the console audience, which is unfortunate, but it's the reality. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Nintendo sucks. On a week where Nintendo's releasing my dream game, Nintendo sucks. More on that dream game later. Oh no, we have 3 more headlines. Sorry. It was a packed week. Number 20 on the headlines. More of a PSA if you want to get these games. So the Xbox 360 store is closing on July 29th. It will no longer be possible to buy any games or DLC from the 360 marketplace. So Xbox has put out a huge 360 sale. Huge. And like if you look down at these prices, I don't think they're on this actual article, but if you go on there, like a lot of 360 games. Now keep in mind, these aren't games that are backwards compatible. Those games will still be available. Yeah. It's the non-backwards compatible games that didn't make the jump that are going to be going away.
Nintendo would never. A sale before you close your market?
Yeah, no. No, they wouldn't. They were like, hey, you better buy this or it's gone forever. Yeah. Pokemon Red, what's that? Pikachu. The only thing I want to be peeking at is these new Switch games. Anyway, so yeah, if you want to go on there, there's some really great 360 deals. Some games are as cheap as, I think, like 99 cents. It's around 220 games that are going to disappear forever. So buy them if you can. Tatum said, or Forrest says, no one hates Pokemon fans more than Pokemon. Yeah, that's very true. Tatum says, rumor, Nintendo I heard has been cracking down on emulators because their new Switch is going to be backwards all the way back. Now, they have been cracking down on emulators, but that's just kind of how Nintendo always has been. Yeah. They're extremely anti-community. Like, they really are. I don't think it has anything to do with them going all the way back in terms of compatibility.
I want to believe
I would love it. That sounds great. That sounds great. I don't believe for 1 second. We were literally making a joke today about them charging another $10 for Ocarina of Time next generation. Yeah. I literally said today, oh boy, I can't wait to pay another $10 for Ocarina of Time on the Super Switch. Because they're going to launch the Super Switch, and the NSO is going to be completely rebooted. They'll be like, all right, guys. I actually don't think they will, but like I wouldn't be surprised. Where they're like, all right, guys, well, games are hard, so we're launching Super Switch NSO with all the NES games. And that's it. And I'm just like, could we not? Could we not take a whole 9 years to get the N64 games again? Like, yeah. Seriously, please. Anyways, yeah. Number 21 on the headlines, Devro, GameStop stocks shot way back up once again due to the return of Roaring Kitty. The pandemic meme stock run is the stuff of the history books. They even made a Hollywood movie about it. Yeah. Very, very quick to turn around. Tatum says, can you let us believe in a dream come true without reality?
Not here.
Tatum, the one thing about us is that we love video games. We love Nintendo. I love Nintendo so much. Like, Dev could turn the camera and show you, like, all my Nintendo stuff. I have so much Nintendo stuff in this room. They fucking hate us, man. They hate us. They don't like us. I've never seen a company so against making their customers happy. It's absurd. It's the craziest thing.
It's not even about money
it's not even a meme at this point. It's just factual.
Yeah.
It's like, hey guys, could you make like a Pokemon MMO? Stab. Can we get the Pokemon games on Switch NSO? Stab.
And if we catch you playing our games,
stab.
Yeah.
Anyways, Keith Gill, better known by his online handle Roaring Kitty, posted a meme of the player sitting up. So this man returns to Twitter and posts this meme. GameStop stocks through the fucking roof.
That's great.
He's back. The Roaring Kitty's back. In the day since the announcement, Roaring Kitty posted a large number of videos to Twitter, mostly depicting hype-up sequences from popular movies and TV shows, such as Troy, Peaky Blinders, and Marvel movies. According to the AP, Gill's return appears to have triggered a large run on GameStop stock, which surged more than 74% on Monday. As of this writing, the stock price has settled around $50, almost 3 times its pre-Roaring Kitty return of around $17. So this man just comes back on Twitter. He's like, I'm back.
Yeah.
Stocks are up.
It's another lawsuit. I mean, he didn't do anything this time, right?
No, he didn't. The run also caused a scale. So they actually had to halt the stock multiple times.
That's funny.
Because the 1% were like, you guys can't make money on this. Stop. I don't care about this Twitter guy. Gill is the main character of Dumb Money, a Hollywood film that highly dramatizes the story of the GameStop short squeeze. Though the film received positive review from critics, it bombed in the box office. So he probably is trying to make it.
It looked good doing trailers, too.
It did. No, I just didn't get a chance to see it. But yeah, so GameStop, and I think AMC's stock went up really high, too, because of, yeah, it's just like, I love it. I love that some dude can come back and be like, hey guys, it's me, I'm back. And people are like, buy the stock! Hurry!
I hope he doesn't get in trouble, but I also hope he uses that power. Just like every time he tweets, GameStop spikes.
GameStop's like, we're going to go out of business. Hey guys, GameStop's open for the next 20 years.
Yeah, they're definitely living off that.
Oh boy. Devro, have I ever told you that Masahiro Sakurai is insane? Creator of Smash Brothers and Kirby and all that stuff. Sakurai once refused to add Dolby Surround to a Kirby game because players were going to have to sit through the logo at the start of the game.
He's not wrong.
Sakurai and former Platinum Games co-founder Hideki Kamiya took part in a live stream over the weekend to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Arcade Archives series of retro games released by Hamster Corporation. During the discussion, Sakurai said that his one recommendation for Hamster was that it should reduce the waiting time between launching one of its arcade titles and actually starting the arcade game it features. He says, quote, when you're at the arcade, you swiftly jump from one machine to another, switching between various games, he said. But why is it that you don't get the same impulse with archive arcade games despite there being many games to choose from? Rather than just tossing in a coin and getting into the game immediately, you have to click on an icon, wait for the logo, wait for the title, look at the instruction screen, wait until everything loads, and then you're finally at the main screen, after which you can start playing. I want you to measure the total time this takes and shorten it, even by 1 second. To prove that he was serious about this, Sakurai revealed that the then GameCube racing game Kirby Air Ride, a game that we played last month, for my birthday, was originally supposed to have Dolby Surround audio, but Sakurai chose to ditch it because it would have meant showing the Dolby logo at the start of the game for a few seconds. I feel very sorry for making the user wait, he explained. If you take 1 second from each user, that means you'll be taking 10,000 seconds from 10,000 people.
This guy's nuts.
That's what I said. The more this repeats over the years, the more time you will cause players to lose. Earlier this year, Sakurai said he was still creating games for the time being, despite being claiming in 2022 he was semi-retired.
He's not wrong.
He's not wrong. It's like the Falcon meme. He's like, he's out of line, but he's not wrong.
Yeah.
That's an insane stat if you think about it. That Sakurai sat there and was like, Dolby Surround, which is like a high-quality audio thing. He's looking at his game, and they're like, all right, cool, so we're going to use Dolby Surround. And he's like, sounds good. And he's like, all right, so here we're going to send you the 1 second video that you put in front of your game. He's like, the what? Oh, no, cut that. We're not doing that. But, sir, it's Dolby Surround sound.
For him to feel guilty about doing that must mean he must hate it when he turns on a game.
Well, he literally just said it when he was doing the thing. He's like,
but I just imagine him just like fuming in his chair as this like shows like the studio name, and then.
Well, so I was thinking about this today, right? So like when you play a Smash Brothers game, it really is kind of like you can like skip all the bullshit.
Yeah, as soon as
when you launch Smash, like almost all of them, you hit start, like you are there.
Yeah, you're there.
You're in the menu, like you're there. So I thought that was.
I admired it a lot from like.
I admire it, but it's still psychotic. Like I've never thought about. I've never given it thought where I was like, man, that 1 second does the game's running Dolby. Okay.
I've never been.
I'm just sitting there waiting.
So
like I've never thought about
a game where like I turn it on and like I'm
like, what the fuck? I just want to get. To...
Yeah.
It's like I just want to play the game.
Maybe the only one I can think of is GTA 5.
Updates. Updates are the only installs and updates are the only things that make me feel that way.
For me, the only time I felt it is GTA 5 when you first launch the game and how long it takes just to get from. But other than that, and updates like you said.
Yeah.
This guy's a madman.
He's insane. That's the man that makes Smash Brothers. Yeah. He's insane.
We need someone that crazy. Look.
He was the only man that could do that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Anyways, that's it for the headlines for the week. Let's get into the game releases for the week. For what many, myself at least, a historic week in video games.
Yeah.
So, game releases coming out today on PC. Songs of Conquest. Tomorrow, on May 21st, we have Gestalt, Steam, and Cinder on PC. Paper Trail also comes out tomorrow for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, PC, iOS, and Android. System Shock, the remake, or the port, comes out on consoles. PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, and Xbox One. X Defiant launches tomorrow. I didn't even realize X Defiant launches tomorrow on PS5, Xbox Series, and PC. And that's it. It's coming out tomorrow.
That's crazy.
No, Devro. There's also launching tomorrow from Xbox Game Studios and Ninja Theory, Hellblade 2, Senua's Saga. No, I just skipped Senua's Saga. I was trying to make a point.
Oh.
No.
Yeah, you didn't say Brett or Fred?
I wasn't there yet. We're on May 21st.
Okay.
Just May 21st. Tomorrow. We're just talking about tomorrow right now. But yeah, Hellblade 2 comes out, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let's keep going through the releases. Coming out on May 23rd, Bread and Fred comes out on Switch. Duck Detective, The Secret Salami comes out on Switch and PC May 23rd. Eternal Threads is coming out on PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, Switch on May 23rd. Hontai comes out on PC May 23rd. Paper Mario The 1,000-Year Fucking Door comes out on Nintendo Switch May 23rd. And World of Goo 2 comes out on Switch, PC, and Mac on May 23rd. So Tatum says, I need to buy System Shock. So Tatum, that on a random week. So Tatum, here we do our picks of the week. Every week we look at the releases. Dev picks his pick. I pick my pick. And that's what we do. On a regular week, the System Shock game, like port, would be my pick of the week. It's a game that I really want to... I've never played it because I'm not much of a PC gamer. I've only just recently started playing some PC games. But that's a game that I've wanted to play for a long time.
I think X Defiant would be mine.
On a normal week.
On a normal week.
On a normal week, yeah. However, this is not a normal week. Devro, I'm just going to cheat. I'm picking 2 this week. Yeah, I'm just going to do it. Unless you want to go first. Go ahead. You can pick what you want to pick then. No, I mean, it's one of my 2.
Yeah, I am picking one of your 2.
So just you can go first. That's fine.
Hellblade 2.
Hellblade 2.
Senua's Saga, Hellblade 2.
So let's talk about it before we get to the other pick. So Hellblade 2, obviously, launching tomorrow. A culmination for a lot of Xbox fans. I understand people were looking at Redfall and Starfield, and I do look at Starfield as that first game. But there is such a love and intimacy for Hellblade 2 with the Xbox community because this is a game that the studio... This wasn't Xbox bought Bethesda and then made Starfield exclusive. Xbox bought Ninja Theory based off of their work on Hellblade 1 and said, we would love for you guys to make another one. So they bought the studio and then they started working on Hellblade 2.
And it's just a good game. The first game is...
I was going to get to that. The first game is phenomenal. I mean, even before Xbox bought them, it was a game that I played, loved, got the 1,000 gamer score for it. It's a short game, but it's such a great game. Make sure you have your headphones charged. I'm going to be charging my headphones tonight. Just a phenomenal game. The game looks incredible. Everything we've seen on it, it just looks beautiful, gorgeous. I can't wait for the sound design. Everything about that game. I'm surprised you're not playing footage right now. You're playing... this is System Shock, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we're going to be talking about Hellblade
Next week we are both going to be diving into Hellblade 2 this week. Expect our full review next Monday. But I'm so excited for Hellblade 2. It's really up my alley, and it's not going to be a super long experience, sure, but I'm ready to see what Unreal Engine 5 can give us. I'm excited for everything about this game. Which leads me to my other pick of the week, Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. The original is one of my favorite games of all time, period, bar none. We're talking like top 5 or 10. When they announced this at the Nintendo Direct last year, I screamed, I yelled. I was like, I fell back in my chair and I was like, there's no fucking way that they're actually doing this. And they did. And so, like, for me, it's a dream. It's a dream game. It's a game that's on Dev's list of games to play. Yeah, I love this game so much. While Hellblade is like the hot new edgy game that I want to play, I just want to sink back into Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door with like a fresh coat of paint and like new features. Like, I've already saw that they added a character wheel for the partners, and like that alone is like $60. Here you go, $60. Let's do it. But so yeah, those are my picks of the week. It's a great week with my wife's birthday right in the middle. What a great week. Great game tomorrow, wife's birthday, and then Paper Mario.
Your birthday.
Yeah, right. It's more like my birthday. Tatum says, thought the story was great, but gameplay was lacking. It's definitely a good short and sweet narrative game, but I need meat, no Diddy. No, I hear what you're saying. Like, the combat is not the best in the first game. It was a smaller indie game. I loved the game.
I still like the combat.
I think the combat was good enough.
Yeah.
He's correct that it is not a very, like...
It's definitely more narrative, but I like that.
I do think the gameplay looks a lot better now. I think in the new one, in Hellblade 2, I think it looks better. But I love Hellblade 1 so much. I love that game that it lies to you with the permadeath.
Oh, yeah.
I love that so much. Like, I love that the game fucking lies to you. It's like, hey... And like, that also, like, really kind of helps that the combat isn't very challenging. That it's very basic. Because you get into the beginning of this game, and, like, you get hit by, like, the darkness or whatever it was. It starts working your way up your arm, and you're just like, every time you die...
It grows.
It grows. When it gets to Senua's brain, your game's file will be deleted. Game over. That's it. And I was scared shitless. I'm like, what am I getting into? And then you go and you play, and you're like, it's actually not that hard. Like, once you have the courage to tackle what you're dealing with, you know what I mean? It's kind of like, comes full circle with what Senua was dealing with in the game. But no, I love it still. And the combat looks pretty good in this game. I don't know if it's much better. I mean, we'll talk about it next week, I guess. But I'm really into it, so. And then, yeah, Paper Mario. So, great week for games.
Yep. We'll be busy.
We will be very busy. I like how no Diddy's in the middle there. Did you change that? That's not normally in the middle, right?
Yeah, no, it's always there.
Oh, is it? Okay. Anyways, that's going to pretty much do it for us here at the Game Room Podcast.
What are you playing right now?
So I was playing Age of Empires, which I wrapped up all but one achievement. You're going to help me with that last achievement when we get out of here. And then I also played Botany Manor over the weekend.
So I added that to my list. I'm going to play that pretty soon.
I think you'll like it. It's a pretty good puzzle game. It's not my favorite puzzle game. Like, I thought it was fine.
Okay. Was it difficult?
Yeah, a little bit.
That's good.
I think the narrative didn't really click with me.
Okay.
I think, like, for those puzzle games, like, I want to be, like, really into the narrative. Like, I gotta solve this puzzle to get to the next part. Whereas, like, Botany Manor, and admittedly, that's just what the game is, so it's just not for me. But it was just kind of like, hey, you're making a book about plants. You should solve all the puzzles to make all the plants grow, and like that's the game.
Okay.
Like there's no like what's going on in this manor. There's so many mysteries. It's just like, I mean, there's a little bit of mystery, like with some backstory stuff, but like not really.
I have it on my list. I'll play it.
Tatum says, great show, guys. Actually enjoyed it and loved the chat participation as well. Thanks, Tatum. We love chatting with our chat. You know, we love talking to you guys. So So I also do a wrestling podcast, and one of my biggest things is, like, I love when podcasts and shows, like, interacting with your community is important. So, like, I want to have conversations with people when they come and hang out in the chat with us. So that's something we do here regularly. So be sure to stick around. Really appreciate the sub. Make sure you join the Discord as well, where we'll be talking through the week about video games and stuff like that. But yeah, really appreciate your support tonight, along with everyone else that hung out with us here tonight. Like I said, make sure you like, subscribe, join the Discord. You can follow me on Twitter. I don't know if Dev put that in the description yet, but I am on Twitter. I tweet about video games and wrestling and Philadelphia sports. Gunther for the W. Gunther is one of the very few great things about WWE. I will give you that. Gunther is very talented. Gunther's dope. He's a great wrestler. It's a shame that they named him after a Nazi. Now he used to be Walter, and then they named him Gunther. They gave him a last name. And if you Googled that name, it was like a Nazi sub commander, and it was like people were like, "That's WWE though." Anyways, well, if you are a wrestling fan, Tatum, I also do the Broken Tables podcast, which you can find on YouTube, where myself and my co-host Jeffrey Vegas, we do a primarily AEW focused show. I am a collapsed WWE fan. I do not watch WWE that much anymore. I still keep in the know and on tabs with it because I talk about wrestling, so I try to be informed. But if you like pro wrestling at all, all of pro wrestling, you should come check us out over there. Like I said, if you look us up on YouTube, you can find us there.
I'll try to have all the links. I'll need you to send me the links to everything.
Yeah, I'll make sure we take care of that. Yeah, because we recently jumped over to this channel to kind of help the algorithm, because doing a wrestling and a podcast show together, or a wrestling and a gaming show together, was kind of messing with us. So, yeah, if you like wrestling, then definitely check us out over there as well. But yeah, until next time, we'll be talking about Hellblade and Paper Mario next week. So, See you guys later.
See ya.